Hi, my name is Dr. Doug Jackson, and welcome to this video on tracking. Tracking is the fundamental crim skill. Tracking is the ability to discern sensations that are happening in the body and to determine whether those sensations are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. By developing this ability to recognize sensations that are happening in the body and discerning whether those sensations are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, we have the ability to choose whether to stay with the current sensations or perhaps to use crim skills to shift how we're feeling about a sensation so that our nervous systems become more set to things that are either neutral or pleasant. Let's use COVID-19 as an example. Not that any of you would actually be doing this, but let's just say for the sake of example that you've checked your trusted news source 8 times in the last 45 minutes for updates. And you can feel the band around your head, and that band is getting tighter and beginning to throb. And there's something going on in your stomach that feels like dancing, but not a nice dance. And you can feel your heartbeat increasing, and you can feel your breathing becoming more rapid, but it's becoming shallow. That's tracking. That's paying attention to what's going on in your body. Now, the next part of tracking is that pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? Well, just by my way I characterized it in this example, it's probably rather unpleasant. Now, there are lots of ways to learn tracking. The most famous one is Jon Kabat-Zinn's exercise, where students learn to eat a single raisin very carefully, slowly, and deliberately. I actually use this exercise with students in detention centers, although I got to tell you, chocolate is a lot better received than raisins. As it turns out, I like chocolate better too. Now, you could pursue this yourself if you wanted to. There are lots of videos out there that go over this exercise. But doing a mindful eating exercise on a video is kind of unpractical. But the next time that you eat something, you might want to just try slowing way, way down and noticing the texture of the food and the smell of the food, the look of the food on your plate. How does that food taste? And as you continue to eat the food, does the taste change? Is there an aftertaste after you swallow? There's always an aftertaste, and most people don't experience the aftertaste because we're too busy shoving stuff in our mouths. But give it a try. It's a fascinating exercise. But in that we're dealing with a pandemic which is attacking our lungs, I thought it might be interesting to do an exercise that's designed to strengthen the lungs. This is from the YouTube video 5 Shaolin Qigong Breath Exercises by Shifu Yangzin. Now, we're going to do the first of the 5 exercises. The author during the video encourages people to teach these skills to their family and friends. And I thought that it's staying within the purview of what the author was offering to do this during these videos. Now, Qigong is best done in loose-fitting clothes that don't restrict movement. This particular exercise can be done standing, but it's designed to be done standing, but it could be done sitting down, just as long as you're sitting in a chair that doesn't have arms, because the arms of the chair will get in the way of your arms. So if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'm going to go change into my sweats, and then we'll come back and we'll try the exercise. Okay, I've changed into my sweats. Go dogs. Want to take a minute to see if we can do a check-in with your body, to see how you're feeling now, so that we can practice checking in with our body, but also so that we can compare after the exercise and see whether there's been any shift. Do you feel any discomfort in your body? If you do feel any sort of discomfort, how precisely can you locate that discomfort? I mean, maybe you can't. Maybe it's just a general feeling. But maybe there's a specific place that you feel that discomfort. Is that discomfort an achy kind of feeling? Is it a sharp pain? Could we measure that discomfort? If we put it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being trivial and 10 being, actually, you should be calling 911. Where would it fall in that range? And that's not to say that you have to feel uncomfortable. Maybe you feel good. Maybe it feels really good to get up for a moment. You've been sitting around too much. It could be that simply by standing up, the backs of your legs, those muscles are feeling nice because they're stretching out now. Or it could be that you've been sitting on your butt and just bent over in front of a computer screen for hours on end, and your butt actually appreciates not having the weight on it. And your back just feels marvelous because all of a sudden it's not all scrunched out. Or it could be that, you don't feel anything at all. And that's fine. Because the point of this exercise is to practice paying attention to how you feel. It isn't to have any particular outcome. It's just to build our skill at noticing how we're feeling. So, let's try a short breathing exercise. This is Shaolin exercise of Qigong. Now, in this exercise, we're going to spread our legs so that they're about the width of our shoulders. Notice that my toes are pointing out. They're not like this. They're pointing straight forward. And you might notice this is a very solid stance. It's called the horse stance, but it's also sometimes called a tree stance because you just feel like you're planted like a tree, solid in the ground. Now, make a fist, both your hands. Bring those fists together at about your belly. And then bring your fists up to the heart level. What we're going to do is we're going to be raising our fists and breathing in as we raise them and breathing out as we lower them. But as we raise our fists, we're also going to be turning our wrists. Look what happens with our elbows. Our elbows come up. Notice what happens with your lung just by doing this. Your skeletal system is forcing your lungs to expand, which is why this exercise, I think, is designed. That this is the in-breath. And then the out-breath is bringing the fist down and rolling the wrists back around. So let's give it a try. We're going to do 5 reps. Fists together at stomach level, raising them up to the heart level, and then raising up, rolling the wrists and breathing in. Breathing in, 1. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. Gentle, full breaths, unforced. Two more. Last one. Drop our fists to the belly. Drop our hands and bow. How do you feel now? Has there been any shift? If you were feeling discomfort, has that discomfort changed? Our 1 to 10 meter, has that shifted at all? If you were feeling better by standing up, what did this exercise do to shift that? Maybe you feel even better than you did before. It might be that this is a general sense of well-being that wasn't as present before the exercise. This exercise is designed to work with the lungs. How are your lungs doing? And in all of this, the answer to all of it may be that you tried the exercise and thanks for playing, but there's no difference. And that's fine, because the point of this is to practice paying attention to how our bodies are doing. It's not any specific outcome that we're trying towards. It's just practicing noticing what's going on, how our bodies feel. Practicing feeling sensations. That's tracking. If you practice yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong or meditation, it may well be that tracking your bodily sensations has become kind of second nature. But even if you are a practitioner, it may be that tracking the sensations is kind of clumsy. I urge you to practice this skill, because the more we practice it, the more we develop this skill, the more opportunity we have to make choices in our life as to whether we want to stick with the feeling that we have right now, or we want to shift to, use crim skills to shift to a different sort of sensation and get us moving in a different kind of direction to help keep us in the zone. Now, if checking your phone every 5 minutes for a COVID update is making you feel anxious and unpleasant in any number of ways, you have a choice. You can continue to check your phone every 5 minutes, or you can take that rising feeling of discomfort and instead of checking your phone, do a Qigong exercise. Do the breathing exercise that we just went over. You probably have lots of things that you could do that you rely on that are sort of your go-tos for physical things to do that help you to shift how you're feeling. Developing our tracking skills gives us better choices. When we check that update for the 5th time, even though we know it's going to make us feel worse, we're actually causing our own suffering. Improve your tracking skills. Improve your choices. And improvement is possible. If we practice something, ideally with supervision, we get better at it. In 1988, Dr. Carla Schatz, a neurobiologist at Stanford who's still on faculty, took 40 years of research, combined it with her research, and came up with one short, pithy, intuitive explanation of all of neuroscience. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Now, all the stuff that we've talked about the brain is a simplification, except for this one statement. This one statement is true. It's always true. It was true. You had neurons firing together and wiring together when you were in the womb. And you're going to have neurons firing together and wiring together right up until the very moment you die. A 1-sentence, 6-word explanation for learning. Neurons that fire together, wire together. This is an explanation of how habits are formed. It's also an explanation of why habits are so difficult to break. And please keep in mind, neurons are agnostic. Neurons don't care whether you're learning a good habit or a bad habit. If you practice something, they'll just do their fire and wiring things and they'll get better at it. So the habits that you learn, your nervous system is going to help you learn them. But whether they're a good habit or a bad habit, well, you're in the driver's seat.